Welcome everyone to the video on using Quartus to compile a file, add pin numbers, and download to the target board. Once the PDF file is completed and you have it connected the way you want it, then the next thing is to compile the project so that Quartus can convert it into a file which can be downloaded to the board. It's a fairly simple process. Just come up and click on the Start Compilation, and you can kind of watch the progress here on the left side, as well as comments down in the comments section. Once the compilation is complete, you'll get a message indicating that and a listing of any warnings. Warnings are okay, and any errors. Those errors will also show up, as well as the warnings, in this comment section. The errors will be in red, the comments will be in blue. Comments are generally okay. Alright, once that's done, then the next item is to assign pin numbers to the inputs and to the outputs. Alright, in order to do that, we need to know what pin numbers we're going to use. For example, we'll go get the data sheet for the 2C8 pin assignments, and in that data sheet all the pin numbers are assigned to the devices that attach. For example, for our project we have two inputs, which is the clock and the clear, and we have three outputs, Q0, Q1, and Q2. We will use DB0, the debounced push button, for our clock input, and it's assigned to pin number 131. The clear we will assign to the clear input, we will assign to pin 130, which is also a debounced. Our outputs, Q0, 1, and 2, we will assign to red LED 0, 1, and 2 respectively, and they are attached to pins 115, 114, and 113. Alright, so now that we know where we're going to assign those, how do we do that? Well, couple of different ways. We can go up and we can click on the assignment editor, or we can go over to the assignments tab and then also choose the assignment editor there. Okay, so we'll just start it here. Alright, once the assignment editor comes up, then to show a listing of all the pins, you come over on the left hand side and click on Show All Known Pin Names. Once you do that, then all of the pins that were created in the PDF file will be listed here. Now we need to assign those now, the value of those, to the numbers that we talked about earlier. For example, we want to assign clear to pin number 130. So click in the value and type in pin, uppercase, underscore 130. That makes that assignment to the clear. Clock was 131. So pin underscore 131. Q0 was going to be red 0, and that's 115, so that's pin underscore 115. Pin underscore 114 was Q1, and pin underscore 113 was the Q2. So that takes care of our assignments. Alright, once we've got those done, we need to recompile. So we're just going to click on the recompile. It's going to ask us, do we want to save those assignments? We're going to say yes. We'll go through the compilation again, and we should get a successful compilation. Okay, and that takes care of the pin assignments. You might ask, well, how do I know that those got assigned and where? Well, go back to your PDF file, and now on each one of the inputs and the outputs you have a pin number assigned. So here 130 is assigned to clear, 131 to clock, 115 is Q0, 114 is Q1, and finally Q2 is assigned to pin 113. Okay, so that takes care of the pin assignments. The next thing we want to do is download this, or if you will, program our board with it. Well, a couple of different ways. We can use the programmer icon here, or go to the tools menu and choose programmer. So we can start up the programmer. There'll probably be a file already listed here. I like to delete it just to make sure I get the correct one. And then once I've got it deleted, then I come back and I'll say add file, which will open up the current folder that I'm in this case W1L1, and I want to choose the SOF file. w1l1.sof. The SOF file is the file that I want to download to the board or program the board with, and I simply check OK. Then I need to make sure that the program/config box is checked. And finally, before I download, I need to make sure that I have a board attached. In this case, I've got the USB blaster on USB 0. If for some reason there was nothing listed here, or it said no hardware, click on the hardware setup button, and then you should see a listing of all the properly attached hardware. If the USB blaster shows up here, then just double click here, and then it will double click on the hardware, and it will show up here, and then you can say close. If no hardware shows up, then there's no USB device attached, and you should contact your professor on how to solve that issue. Okay, once we've got this selected and the hardware selected, then all we have to do is click on Start. Once we click on Start, then we can watch the progress over here on the right hand side. Now this one was fairly quick simply because it was a small file, but as the projects grow in size, then this will take a little bit longer. So once this occurs, since we received no errors, then you should be able to go back to your hardware, or go to your hardware, and you should be able to implement, in this case, this 3-bit ripple counter by pressing the clock button DB0, and the LEDs on Q0, 1, and 2 will highlight the binary output. That concludes the video on compilation, assigning pins, and downloading to the target board.